this on X and YouTube or just X? All right, beautiful. What is going on, Mr. Sean? We got Mr. Sean in the house. My man. I see you everywhere, bro. That's how I know you're chronically on X doing these sets, sir. Here we go. What's going on? New Pobia. What's going on? Welcome from YouTube, man. Love to see it. Mr. Sean, everything, everywhere, all at once. That's the way. KRP, my man. Good evening, sir. How's it going? The most talented video editor I know on CT. C Hacks, Mr. Medhib. Drew, what's going on, man? Guys, good to see all of you here. So here's what we're going to be doing. I currently have Kaito behind the scenes with me. The original Kaito, before the platform came live. It must be an awkward time, man, to be called Kaito. The You changed your name, huh? It's I got Kaito with me behind the scenes, who's gonna be helping me compile some of the questions. So today, guys, there's no question off limits. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about. Share with me your deepest, most troubling business issues. We'll talk about those. Do you have relationship problems? We can talk about that. Trying to get a spicy Latina, I can help with this. I got experience with that as well. Whatever is on the agenda today, there's nothing off limit. Mr. Austin, how's it going? What's up, Leon? Everything is good. Man, Singapore was absolutely crazy. So while we try Kaito, well, bro, trying to get cancelled. Now, bro, this builds the community, the tribe. So before this, I was actually trying to make I was in the process of filming a recap video of my experience in Singapore, and I started filming it, and then I found myself. It was like getting close to the 7:30 p.m. for me, which was supposed to be the start time for this live stream. I was like, no, I'm not gonna make it. So I stopped filming, and tomorrow I'll be starting that again. But all that to say, there were a lot of amazing learnings that I got from Singapore that I can't wait to share with you. So hopefully this will go out next week. We got C Hacks asking a very good question. So, how do you get your content ideas? So, we got C Hacks first and then KRP. Business related, left today a comment on one of your posts. Would love your take. What do you think about it? KRP, do me a favor, man. If you could pin the link to the post right here is again, Jude, I've been posting a lot. I have, I think, 10 posts up today. So, uh, please share it here. Guys and girls, gals. Well, I answered the first question. We have Kaito here compiling. Also, some questions. So just shoot it over. We'll answer it. So let me answer C Hax's question. Dan, if we can pin that one up. C Hax, how do you get content ideas? This is a very good question. And the honest truth is, I wouldn't say I get ideas sitting down thinking, what do I want to talk about? I've never sat down and I was like, okay, next 30 minutes, let's go. I'm posting content for the next 30 minutes, or I'm getting content ideas. My secret is immerse yourself in an industry and remain at the cutting edge of that industry. And you will naturally find yourself having so much material to speak about that you don't know where to start. I kid you not. Let me show you my content idea list that I have for YouTube videos. These are all ideas that I have by immersing myself in my profession, that being marketing, content creation, cult building. You see everything in, so let me not hide my face. So do you see everything that is in yellow? These are videos that have been filmed. All the text, these are videos that I still want to film. Like I have a lot of ideas, man. I just don't have enough time to film them. These are all each one of them can be a banger, unique video in and of itself. So my recommendation: pick a niche, stay at the cutting edge of it, and you will find yourself with a lot of content. Now, if you don't have a niche yet, that's a bigger, more important question, and that's where I will invite you to find to experiment and find what is something you are innately passionate and curious about that you can also monetize, that has a market. I can be super passionate about collecting seashells on the beach. It's like, is there a market to this? I can make content and maybe I can be passionate about it and show up every day so happy. But is there a market for this? So you're quickly going to fall out of love with it because you're not going to see the results that keep you going. What is the intersection of your passion, something you're interested in, and something the market is willing to buy? I studied engineering, so the ring I have on my finger is the ring you get when you graduate from engineering school in Canada. Funny enough, while doing university engineering, I would find myself reading marketing books. One of them was called Contagious: Why Things Go Viral. And I would find myself reading marketing books for fun, out of passion. So I had an innate desire and passion for marketing, which is actually how I found myself working in that industry. It was natural for me. So that's my recommendation for you. C Hacks, my man, I hope this was hopeful. We got KRP who sent the post. Let me try to copy it. You are able to. Perfect. Oh, let's try. Could you try to expand a little bit, Kaito, on the screen? Amazing, beautiful. Thank you, Kaito. By the way, guys, I'm not talking by myself. I got Kaito behind the scenes with me. This guy's gone mad. Okay, bro, for the last week, I keep building an idea in my head that sounds like this: a Web3 enabled gym where users get rewarded in tokens for completing workshops, challenges, and achieving milestones. Access to the gym and ecosystem is gated by an NFT membership, which can evolve. Okay, uh, interesting thinking. Here's what I'm a fan of, and here's what I'm not a fan of. I'm a fan of this idea because it gamifies engagement and it allows you to create greater retention with your customers. So, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, my VPN on my phone uh, reached its 1 year contract. For those of you who don't know, in Dubai, you need a VPN to call on WhatsApp. It's a mess. Like, you cannot do WhatsApp calls unless you have a VPN. So to call my parents, I have to turn on VPN, and then I have to wait for it to load, and then I have to call my parents. And I had to renew my membership. They gave me a 90% discount from $40 a year to $4 because they knew that the biggest drop off that their customers have is after the first year contract. If someone renews for another year, I will assume, and I don't know the funnel, but I will assume next year there will not be a discount because I'm already embedded in the behavior. Most people churn in the first year. It's called churn in business. To your idea, KRP, what I like about your idea is that it gamifies engagement, and a more gamified engagement creates longer retention. What I don't like about your idea is that NFT comes first and then gym comes second. The product is the NFT, the utility is the gym. It should be the opposite. The gym is the product, and then the utility is the NFT. Well, the utility of a gym is you work out and you have access to machines that work. Like that being said, but the NFT is almost the wrapper on top of the business model. And this is what the NFT business model should look like. We've ran in circles like a chicken without a head, trying to invent a business model around NFTs. And guess how it's gone after 4 years? Instead, NFTs is nothing but an extension to the business model. Think of these AirPods right here. By themselves, these are AirPods. Now imagine if I want to package them, I want to put them in a package and then give this as a gift. If I have it in a nice black matte package, it looks luxurious. Wow. If I have it in a pink package with hearts on it, all of a sudden it's a romantic gift. But then if I have it in a white, cheap box, all of a sudden you'll think that this is a fake. Same product, different packaging. That's how I see NFTs. NFTs make the product sexier. You tell me the gym comes with a digital membership that has a streak, and if you go to the gym 6 times a week, your avatar is more muscular than if it is a one time per week. And then if you have a muscular avatar, you can go to the coffee shop and you can scan the thing, and then you get 10% off your coffee or off your protein shake, and then you get free classes. All of this powered by NFT technology. That's how NFT should be used. Because NFT as a technology makes the whole thing that I just described more efficient, more impactful. Dude, are we recording this? We are recording this. Very good. It records beautiful. I mean, thank you. Thank you, Kaito. It records in 4K, right? Or in HD. Let me let me let me just turn on my camera while I have it. All right, we're back. Uh, KRP, this is would love to hear your thoughts on my little rant that I have right here. By the way, guys, if you're just joining, we're doing some rapid fire crypto marketing questions. So if you have any business problems you're facing, personal problems, relationship problems, we solve it all here. Let me go to JuVidX. So how important is PFP for X brand growth? And how do you determine whether to use a Pudgy, a Zuki, or even a personal headshot? Good. Good question. Here's how I see it. There are 3 types of PFPs you should be using, and only these 3. Everything else, don't use it. Don't use. The first type of PFP is a PFP from a collection that will raise the perceived value of who you are and what you stand for. Having a CryptoPunk looks better than having um, some random NFT rug from 2021. It just is. It elevates your brand's perceived value a lot more. That's a CryptoPunk. Obviously, not everyone has a CryptoPunk, but I'm just using the extreme example. The first type of PFP that I want you to think about is one that elevates your perceived value. These are usually highly respected communities. These are projects that speak to you, who you are, what you do. Some people, they just like to have the Remilio PFP because that's their character, that's the brand aura that they're trying to build. It's not mine. I would never put on a Retardio or Remilio or any of those PFPs. It's not my brand. It doesn't speak to me. But some people it does. So number one, the Pudges, the Azukis, the Doodles, the Moonbirds. These are PFPs that elevate your perceived value. Number two are IP-driven PFPs. What does IP-driven PFP mean? These are PFPs that are recognizable because these are IPs that people know from outside of crypto. You know, I saw one guy, for example, he had a PFP of uh, Napoleon Bonaparte. I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, that's pretty cool. There's David on the timeline who has a Spider-Man PFP. There's someone who has a Giga Chad. You know the Giga Chad, the PFP, like just a Giga Chad as a PFP. These are recognizable, and because not a lot of people use them, you can all of a sudden become easily recognizable. Obviously, there's a problem where you're building your IP around someone else's IP. And then there's a third type of category, which is your PFP, your face, your personal IP, what you look like. These are the three types of PFPs that you should use. Anything else, don't use. What do I mean? If you have a PFP of a project that is not active, no one recognizes it, it's like, what is this? Is this like someone hand drew it? Is that AI generated? Is this like a rug? What is that? Stay away from this because it decreases your perceived value in the marketplace. If you have a PFP that looks like AI generated stuff as well, stay away from this. It takes away from your perceived value. And honestly, so many people on the timeline I see that have PFPs that are not serving them. It removes from their perceived value. If I don't use my penguin, I would use my own PFP, and I think it would work as well. When you're getting started, it's good to have an NFT PFP, and that's where there are a lot of entry level profile pictures that you can use, the personas, the final bossus, the sappy seals. These are all communities that are more accessible, and they show that you're part of the culture. But the random PFP, man, it takes away from your perceived value. I wouldn't use that. So many people, and sometimes a recognizable PFP is the difference between getting a follow back or not, getting a reply back or not. And when you multiply that by 1,000 people seeing you per day, all of a sudden it adds up. You're losing a lot of followers because of that not serving you. So that is my take. Juvid, hope this was helpful to you. Let's take a look. I think we got. Okay. Very nice. Okay. Beautiful. Let me before we answer this very good question, let me take a quick look at the comment section. What do we have over here? Beautiful. So they say niche down, but Leon, how can we post and niche down without being rigid? So how can we niche down without being rigid? I niche I Nietzsche. My man is reading Friedrich Nietzsche. I niched to crypto options related content, but there's basically very little interest on these types of derivatives. Very boring but reliable yield. Should I expand the niche and approach other things like stablecoin deal or something like this? So let me and I this does fit in the same question, so I appreciate this, Kaito. Let me check your account, OX. Kaito, do we have the ability to share screen? Evinio, OX Evinio. Yes. Let's take a look. Where's my share screen? All right, Web3 marketing and community content creator, YouTuber, crypto options trader.
Most people who make their
By the way, good quality content. I like this, bro. Very good quality content. Video view the crypto cards. I'm doing a quick audit of your account. Meme coins and BNB are freaking nuts. Solana, everyone now believes airdrops will be in Q4. Congrats, every crypto millionaire. Now what? Few pass. Just boost and dispose. By the way, people don't like when you do this. The screw Singapore. This is literally. So here's what I'll say on this topic. And Kaito, we're good. We're good for sharing. So you are not Evino. You are not in the crypto derivatives niche. You are in the make money online niche. So am I, by the way. We're all in the make money online niche. The vertical that you've decided to focus on, in your case, is the derivatives market. Now, as someone who does not is not familiar with the derivatives market, what does the average person look when they try to search for your keyword? That's the first thing I would try to do. What is the first thing people do when they try to search for your niche? Because right now, I don't think someone wakes up in the morning and thinks, okay, let me go research about crypto derivatives. People would search how to make money with my stable coins, how to make money with my investing in safe crypto stocks, whatever your niche is. But I don't think people use the keyword derivatives. And you even confuse me when you use the term derivative. Like, what does it actually mean? So, step number one, I guarantee you there's a big market for you. You seem to definitely be in a bigger market than I am. Let's be honest. There's a lot more people out there trying to make money on their stable coins or on their yield or improve the return on their tokens than people looking to build brands in crypto. This is the truth. You have a bigger market than I do. So I don't think your market size is the problem. Your problem might be your clarity, how clearly you speak to your target audience. The thing about most founders that I notice is that they've over romanticized complicated keywords. And I'm not saying this is you. If anything, going through your feed, I did not see you talking at all about crypto derivatives. The only time you mention it is crypto options trader in your bio, but it's not doesn't talk about derivatives. So I wouldn't even say you're niched in the derivatives market based on your content, unless I'm missing, YouTube channel or something. But no, I don't see it. So I think your message is confusing. People don't know how you serve them. People don't know how are you going to help them make money and thrive. People's brains have one job. That job is to help them survive and thrive. They're constantly scanning the world around them to find ways to better survive and thrive. You can walk into a conference hall. The last thing your brain will think about instinctively is, let me sit here and count how many chairs are in this room. But I can guarantee you that the brain will know where the emergency exits are. And that is because the brain is wired for survival. I don't think your message is clear. And the moment you can start simplifying it, all of a sudden you will start making your message more appealing. If you told me, Leon, I'm niche in the niche of helping people make money with their stable coins, I would be like, tell me more. I could be a potential customer. You see what I mean, Evino? And third thing I'm going to say, none of your content is about derivatives. Like I've scrolled through 3 days of content and you do not speak about derivatives. So there might be a disconnect here. That's from the marketing and messaging part. Let's go. Beautiful. Let's go. We got paid network in the room. I appreciate you guys being here. What is my favorite user growth strategy? So, considering I know paid network, I know you guys. You guys are a launchpad, incredibly successful back in like one of the biggest launchpads when launchpads were like the thing during the last bull market. So, huge shout out to paid. You guys have done a crushing. The My favorite user growth strategy, that's where we get into the tactics of it. The first thing I would do is step number one is I would make sure to simplify my message so that people know exactly what do I do? What do I do? And it sounds basic, but believe me, go to your favorite brand right now or go to any brand that is pre-launch. Try to understand what they do. Most likely you will not understand what they do and who their target audience is. So I look at foundations. Speak clearly. Just speaking more clearly, simplifying your message, having a good headline improves return on investment. Then we can get into the whole like referral strategies, having creating referral links, giving people the ability to highlight their status within your ecosystem, giving them a leaderboard. That's when we can get into creating exclusivity by dropping limited edition items, just like Mona did, by the way, with their cards. Classic. That's where we get into the specific tactics of it. But I would say like foundational, like concrete beams down the building's gonna go on top of this. A simple message. And of course, needless to say, my favorite two words in the English language are founder funnel. But the founder funnel is the marketing, is the funnel. How do you get people to see you? Before this, you need the right foundation. You need someone worth being seen. So that's what I'll say. Hope this was helpful. So this was a special request that we got from Kaito to skip the queue for this one. What is your biggest success, Leon, in marketing? I would say my biggest success so far in my entire career is not the record month that I've had. It's not my ability to build a sales team to over close to 10 people. It's not building followers to millions of followers in Web 2. My biggest marketing success was actually making money during the bear market. That is the single hardest thing any single person can endeavor. Man, I remember in late 2021, early 2022, there were so many agencies in the space. I remember getting into crypto marketing with a lot of competition. There were a lot of big people back then that were making marketing content, how to launch a brand, how to success case studies. There was a lot going on. And I was here, the new fish that came in. And slowly, slowly, I out staminate. I out staminad, if that's I just invented the word. I outran all my competition. The people that I used to see as my competition started to pivot to making AI content. The agencies that I thought owned all the marketplace stopped posting and are nowhere to be seen. And slowly, slowly, I found myself to be the only person in the arena. Not because I was the strongest, but because I outlasted everyone. And I would say this is my biggest achievement, to be completely frank with you, because I was able to make money in a market where everyone was waving the white flag and pivoting to another opportunity. Was I making a lot of money? No. We had a handful of months that were not profitable because the business, when I say Unfungible is a seven-figure business, it doesn't mean I'm taking seven-figure home, guys. I'm not rich, and there's a lot of expenses that come with a business. So during the bear market, I would have months where I would like not be profitable, but I was able to outlast everyone else. And this is business a lot of times. It's who can stay alive the longest. It's a game of survival. And that's what I preach. When I tell people like play the long-term game with long-term people over a long enough time frame, expand your time horizons. It's really because it just worked for me. I'm not inventing these new slogans because it sounds good and it positions me differently. It's just what works for me. So that's what I'll say, Virtual Morales. It's a game of stamina. Think about this for a second. Think about this for a second, just to, like, final thing, to like the final hammer to nail the point. If you want to be in the 1%, this means you have to enter a room and be number one. If you want to be 0.1%, it means you have to enter a room of 1,000 people. Think of a concert hall, and you have to come out number one out of 1,000 people. If you want to be 0.01%, that means you have to enter a stadium and be the last man alive. That's how I want you to think about it. It's brutal, man, but it's worth the fight. So that is my take on this right here. New new Poby, I appreciate this. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate this. This means a lot to me. We got cryptic. I'm trying to combine NFT marketing and psychology to create my own niche in content. Do you have any ideas on how to do that to perfection? So NFT marketing is the niche. Psychology is not a niche. In the field of marketing, psychology is a tool that is a field that you learn to do marketing well. Let me unpack this. So it's like saying I'm trying to combine NFT marketing and copywriting. No, you need copywriting to be good at NFT marketing. You need psychology to be good at NFT marketing. You need X marketing to be good at NFT marketing. It's almost the prerequisite. If by psychology you mean gamified experiences that create long-term customers that converts into buyers, then that now we're talking about a different niche. But the word psychology itself is not a niche. For example, if I tomorrow change the slogan on Fungible's website, we help founders market their projects using organic strategies and psychology. Doesn't work. It's not. No one's searching for this. How you do the marketing, that the your deeper knowledge about psychology could be your edge. If you create content, if you create content, pronunciation. If you create content about what makes people do things, how to brainwash people into buying your products, how to build communities, how to how to create propaganda campaigns, like how to use mass market psychology, and you create content around this, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, that's interesting. What does this guy offer? NFT marketing. I have an NFT project. Interesting." You see what I mean? So psychology is not your niche. NFT marketing is. That's just your vehicle. Don't get fancy. Don't try to invent categories where there's no market. Again, going back to the example of you can be the best person at collecting seashells. Is there a market for that? No. So that's what I'll invite you to think about cryptics. Thank you, sir. Kaito, could we bring the chat a little bit down just to have more to be able to see a bit more chats? Thank you, sir. Are you guys enjoying this? How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Is this too much for a Thursday evening? Let's go to Mr. Arnav. Arnav Adarsh. What is your opinion on clients pulling themselves out of the contract in a retainer saying markets are too down, violating your exit clause, exit fees, etc., even on email? Here's the thing, Arnav. It always happens, bro. It's gonna happen to anyone who runs an agency in the world, be it Web3 or not. Man, are you gonna get into a suing battle with your clients? No, man. Like, I don't think you should ever get to that point. Um, can you prevent them from pulling out of the contract by providing a better experience and potentially improving the client journey? I do think so. If people are canceling, it probably means that your product is bad. Again, I'm being generalistic. I don't know your product. I'm just assuming, as someone who deals with clients and has churn, your process has a more greater correlation on churn than the luck and the type of client that you get. There are some clients, let's draw a spectrum. Some clients will renew no matter what happens. Some clients will churn no matter what happens. You can send a lawyer to their house, they're still going to be like, I never signed this contract. But then there's the middle. These are the people that are on the fence. And if you have the right renewal sequence, if you have the right product, if you have the right client experience, these people that are on the fence, you can win them. Most of your clients, and if you have an agency, are in that middle ground. They're on the fence. Either they will renew or churn. Your product, your process, your service is what will define this. So here's what I'll think about. For these clients, don't think about how do I go after these clients that have exited my clause. Instead, think how can I make my product better. A good book that I would recommend to you, Arnav, and this is a book that everyone on my operations team has read, is called Never Lose a Customer Again. That's the name, right, Kaito? Never lose a customer again by Joey Coleman. The whole operations team, I got Kaito behind the scenes as part of the operations team. He's like, yes. My whole ops team read this book. It's a very good book. And you will realize, man, your process, your product and process is probably at 20% of what it could be. Ours is still really like there's always things to improve. Beautiful. So would love to get your thoughts on my messaging. I'm in the NFT IP driven niche. So Sifin, we'll take a look at your profile in a second. Before this, let me make sure mixed crypto art. Hi Leon, if I had a revolutionary blue ocean and Web3 idea that tied fitness, relationships, spirituality, and wealth, would you consider working with them for a token supply percentage? The short answer is no. Uh, I appreciate the opportunity, but we don't usually work on token supply. Using the founder funnel to elevate my project, our niche is IP, storytelling, games. What is the best approach? It's a very broad question. Using the founder funnel to elevate my project. What's your project? Let's take a look at Siffin's page. Let's do incognito, not incognito, a spontaneous account review. Siphon, 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 tomato. Let's go. Shall we, Kaito, try to open the screen share in big? Can we try to expand? Yes. Let me move right here. No, expand it. We got space. Okay. I moved all the way to the right. This might still be small, by the way. I'll zoom in. Yeah, let's bigger it. Inventing English today. Okay, let's let's go. All right, let's see. Your account: 2017 crypto vet, founder, game designer, author, 2D animator, vibe coder, nerd. My man is jack of all trades. interactive building, battle brains, interactive storytelling. Let me see what's on that YouTube channel. Oh, I've seen you, bro. Yeah, I've seen your videos, of course. Yeah, of course, man. You see, by the way, like, I'm gonna give you an example. What just happened right now in my brain? I saw Austin. I remembered his face and his background. I was like, oh, this guy, it's Austin. I've seen him. I've engaged with his content. Great guy. That is the power of being docs, and that is the power of video content. You become a lot more memorable. Like, I'll be honest, Sifin, like I've seen you on the timeline just from your account, but I didn't put them together. But then when I saw you, I was like, of course, it's Austin. Makes sense. So, first impression that I have from you is you seem to be everything and anything, which is not necessarily good. You're a founder, great. Game designer, okay. Author, ooh. 2D animator, damn. Vibe coder, what? Nerd, great. Clearly. So I would think, how can I distill these down to your core essence? And bro, I'm like a cigar enjoyer. I'm a gym guy. I am a psychology nerd. I I'm a lot of things, but doesn't mean I need to write all of them. So what is the one thing or two things that allow you to develop your career? 80/20. 80% of the things you're talking about have to develop your career. 20% can be the things that make you human, the things that make you who you are as a man. That's where you can talk about all the other stuff. But what is the one or two things, bro, that help you make money? And I will assume that is your project Battle Brains. Before I go to the project, let me just quickly. Okay, here's why I'm following this blueprint. He built one of the greatest gaming empires of all time from a tiny office. Let me like your content, bro, because I want to support. The auditor's voice returns today. Each recording pulls you deeper into Lumera. It's a secret. Okay, beautiful. So this seems like.
Auditor's report. Transmission continued.
Okay. He built, okay. Thread, Web3, and InfoFi now. Pavlov's dog. I agree, by the way. The first chapter in our story, okay. One of the greatest lessons I've learned about building. By the way, good thing I see you're very active, which is good, man. Sometimes, people overthink how much they should be active. I'll be honest with you. Since becoming more active on X, so I used to post like 2 to 3 times per day. Now, I just post. I stop thinking how many times I'm posting. Anytime I have a thought, anytime something's interesting, I just post. And I'm finding myself posting a lot more because there's a lot of thoughts that come on a day-to-day basis. I'm exposed to a lot of material. I read, I watch videos, I binge watch courses. There's a lot of knowledge that I absorb. So I just post all of these. And sometimes I'll just make a post and then I have a follow-up thought and I'll just post it. The less you start thinking and the more you start shipping, the better your content will actually start doing. Here's what I'll tell you, man. The missing link is in Web3 is storytelling. The kind that captivates your imagination, invites you on a journey, and inspires others to be part of your world. Okay? Let me do this. I'm gonna go to your highlights. Because I am starting to develop an observation about your account. I've been building in the shadows since 2022. Okay, what I've learned from 8 years in Web3. Everyone busy chasing hype cycle, but a few trends fade. Cool. So here's what I'll invite you to do, man. More storytelling. More storytelling about your journey. As a founder, you are at the cutting edge of building. You are at the cutting edge of human performance. So what I'll invite you to do and what I'll invite you to think about is try to dive a little bit deeper into who you are. What is your story? What are the series of events that made Austin who he is? And the reason I share this is recently my team, this is, by the way, like I'm not supposed to share this, but I will just because you're live. This is actually something that I'm releasing soon. October 22nd. Anyways, one of the things that we have, this is an audit of the founder funnel account of Leon. This is a product that our clients get after they pay us, after they join our program, and they our programs is usually $30,000 and more. So all that to know, there's going to be an opportunity for you to get your hands on this. However, what I wanted to tell you is, as part of the audit, my team realized that my storytelling content performs better than my baseline. So I want you to lean into this. Number two, I'm not really sure what you do. So what is your project about? Again, you have a lot of things, but what are you trying to pioneer? What is your vision? What is the goal? And I'll stop sharing my screen here because I think this point alone deserves its own segment. Um, Kato, if we can unshare the. I don't really know what you're doing, Austin. I don't know where you're going. I don't know what's your purpose. Why do you wake up in the morning and decide to pursue the most difficult profession that has ever existed, it being entrepreneurship? And this is where your vision and mission comes in. I know these are very cheesy words that have been rinsed and repeated, but I want you to think about this. Think about Lord of the Rings. It's a three book series or three movies, long story. What makes good stories is that there's a very clear objective. Where are we going? What are we trying to achieve? In the case of Lord of the Rings, it's the destruction of evil. And in the process, there are a lot of micro stories that open and close. There's a battle here, then there's these two allies that become enemies, and then there's this romance, and then there's this big battle, and then the villain triumphs, and wow, like it's like there's all these stories that build the larger part. What is that larger story for you? What does success in your universe look like? Because you are building a universe. You're not building a business. You're building a universe that we happen to call a business in the 21st century. Then, now that you have this, when I was telling you, share more about your founder journey, these are the micro stories that I was telling you about, the battles, the events, because what you are not, your business today is not in a vacuum. You did not wake up one day and you were like, you know what? Let me start Battle Brains. There's a series of events that led you to where you are today, and there are a series of events that will lead you to where you will go tomorrow. That's why I share the stories where I was, sleeping next to my brother, or when I was like selling umbrellas on the street to make money, and when my business has failed, because these are all the micro stories that make my story today make more sense. And here's what I'll tell you, by the way. Even I, based on the report that my team gave me on my founder funnel, even I still have work to do on it. I'm not perfect at it. And I don't think anyone will ever have the perfect founder funnel. There's always something that can be done better. But that's like, if I have one takeaway for you, Austin, you're active, you're shipping content, a bit more directional content. How can I join your journey? Bring me into your universe. Bring me in it. And when you paint the picture, people are going to be willing to want to be part of it. So that's it for me, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. We're already on time. It's been a oh, no, that's it's been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to proceed to work on a presentation right now for something big that we have coming up. Stay tuned, guys. I'm going to be making a very big announcement sometime soon. So my recommendation to you is to keep your eyes out on it. Cool. Guys, it was a pleasure. Big shout out to Kaito_AO for being my guest tonight. Oh man, it was you were great. And guys, thank you so much. We'll see you very soon.